What's up, everybody? Rich here. Let me know if you can hear me, and we're gonna get started. I think what I have on the agenda today, we're gonna be looking at ES and Q. We're gonna talk about where they open, where we are. I'm gonna be also talking about the swing trades that I got planned out for next week, the day trades that showed up on the scanner, and I'm gonna spend a few minutes just talking about what's going on in the private room and everything like that. All right, so thank you for joining me. I don't see any comments yet, so I'm just gonna give it a second. I know I think there's 12 people here. Yep, so 12 people here. So just make sure, if you guys can hear me, just throw a yes in there for me, and then we're gonna get this party started. All right. So I think we're good here. So let's talk about where the market opened, which is basically we're gonna look at ES and NQ, and then we're gonna talk about the possibilities. So the first thing that happened on ES is we actually opened below the last week's low. And this is a common case that we call buy the fucking dip, where basically we opened outside the previous day's low, we pushed down, and then as soon as we pushed down, we got big buying pressure, which is signified by this big hammer, right? And what I really love is outside of that hammer, we had an inside bar, and this setup is already playing out. So this setup might have already hit first targets. So let's see. So if we come in here on this inside bar, put a stop right here, let's say halfway through, see what we would have gotten. So we're close to 1 times our risk, 0.75. Let's see. Yeah, so almost 1 times our risk there on that inside bar. So this could be the week's low if the bulls really want to. If they really have conviction that they want to buy, this can be the week's low right here. And we can just go back into this range of last week. We can chop around and do our thing and start to build a base going forward into the rest of the week. So we're not sure if that's going to happen, but we have the setup. We have the inside bar with the hammer. So for my trading, that's a good setup. That's a 50-50 chance there, and that's what I would take. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. Not a big deal, because when we get paid, when we're right, we make at least double or triple our losers. Okay, so let's see how it plays out. Pretty interesting, I would say. We have some bulls that have shown up to the party. On the other side, this is also a gap fill short, so you can see that we retested the close, and as soon as we retested the close from last week, we already have rejection because that's algorithm trading. So the algorithms already found that that previous close as a level of resistance, and they've already started shorting there, and we can already see that right now. So this is also a potential point for where the shorts can step in, and things could get pretty nasty if we blow through this wick. So if we do break this this bull bar, then things can get really nasty. So we'll have to wait and see how that goes. So let's look at NQ and see what's going on with NQ. Normally NQ is stronger, but it's exactly the same damn setup, which is interesting. So the same thing. Here's the close, hammer, inside bar, same thing. So NQ and ES are actually trading the same. So let's see how that plays out. But that's what I would do. So I gave you guys the long scenario, and I also gave you guys a short scenario. So you guys play accordingly to what you see fit. Make sure you manage your risk. All right. So let's talk about let's talk about your requests. Let's do that. And then if you guys have any other requests, hi George, hi Delfino, thanks guys, Abby. Sorry guys, I forgot to say hi. Thank you. Zui Jing, I hope I said that right. Welcome. All right, so let's go through these real quick, and then we're gonna talk about a few more things. So first thing, Tilray. So Tilray had an inside bar, right, last week. Let's see what they did, right? So this is why I said I was scared to take the Tilray inside bar and the wheat stocks in general, because they tend to be very unpredictable. And as you can see here, this action is basically stopping out both sides. So both sides got stopped. Anyone that went long, anyone went short, they're getting stopped. And this is a trap bar. Anytime you have a bar that the wicks cover the previous candle's high and low, it's a trap bar, because it's caused a lot of damage to both sides. Because At one point, the candle was here and the bulls were really excited. And at one point, the shorts were really excited as well. So now, what going forward, the most important thing now is going to be this high, which is 2150, and this low of 1560. Those two pivots are going to be key. So if we can break through any of these sides, that should lead to some momentum. Okay, so let's look at BA. So we had this fib drawn a while back where we pulled to the 618 and we made a new high barely, and barely made a new high. And this is what I call the false breakout, right? Because bulls were trying to buy the break of this swing high and continue higher, and that's why we pulled back. Now we're sitting on the mid Bollinger Band, and we actually had a little bit of buying. So I'll be very interested to see when this week's range breaks. If it breaks above, we can definitely start pushing up again. And if it breaks below, we can come back and retest these areas of support. RKT. Yeah, just a lot of nonsense, really. Looks like a lot of trap bulls are here. So it is very dangerous. Definitely be careful. I'm wondering if that's a Fibonacci level. Maybe. Let's see. So let me bring it to the original pivot. So close to the 50. There are algorithms in here shorting, and they're very aggressively shorting because they're not even letting it retrace the 50. So they're front running this. So somebody is very, very bearish on this company. And you can tell from, first of all, from this candle, and then you can also tell by the algos front running. So be very careful with this stock. If we start to break through this pivot here, who knows where we can go. But on the other side, if we actually break through this wick, I would expect some type of squeeze. Apple. So you guys know I already covered my Apple position. I took the swing trade off of this inside bar. I made 4 times my money and I was done. And the reason why I did it is because of this. I covered my Apple because I literally got out near the high. I got out actually at 4, which was here, which is close enough to the high. And the reason why is because I was expecting something like this to happen into the market, where we would have a lot of trap buyers because it's just been very, very bullish. So I'd just rather be conservative and take my profits. And right now, this is either going to be a major double top where we actually have some significant selling, or this is going to just be a false double top. We're going to pull back down here, build another base like this, and then start to push. Facebook. Yeah, so Facebook is, so when I called out Facebook on Twitter for you guys, I called it out down here at this previous support, which was resistance before. So we made a lot of money on Facebook, but again, look at this trend line here that I had drawn. We broke through the trend line, we tried to hold it, and then we just started pulling back in. So, Facebook is in actual danger right now of breaking back these lows here, unless we get a bullish close pretty soon. And I bet you that this looks like a fib here. Let me see. Yep, 886 exactly. Okay, trade like a robot, guys. It's easy. Just trade like a robot. Take the Fibonacci levels. It's more easier. Baba, WBA. Baba, I'm not going to talk about Baba because I have a lot of setups in the private room and it wouldn't be fair for me to talk about it. But I already told you guys it's closing with a weekly inside bar. It's also closing with a monthly inside bar. So, you guys know you trade according to how you want to, if you want to go long or short. But I have a whole trading plan for the private room, so I'm not going to talk too much about that one. So Walgreens, WBA. So we had the inside bar last week, and it had a pretty nice long wick to the bottom. So we've already pushed through and hit targets to the upside of this inside bar, and that's why we had a lot of selling because, algorithms and other robots are programmed for these inside bars as well. So they already hit 1-to-1 there, and now there's a lot of selling. So being cautious to see what happens here. If we start to consolidate, we can break through this wick and squeeze. Or if we start pulling back again, the mid Bollinger Band is going to be your first stop. Rig and SLD. Why does this look the same? The hell? Crazy. One is Walgreens. One is Rig. That's pretty crazy. So literally the same analysis. Literally. The only difference was this wasn't an inside bar, but again, some trap bulls, measured moves, targets have already been happening over here. SLV. So a lot of people are talking about SLV, silver, and everything. And congrats to those who are making good money. I'm happy for you guys. But yeah, so we've held the mid Bollinger Band now. You see how we're holding it? We're holding the 20 EMA. This is what it is. We're holding it. So if we start going here, we're going to break through this high. We will. Just a matter of time. So now let's draw the fib from this previous low up here to this high. And you can see that we're hugging the 50,618 zone. So there's algos that are buying. Algos are just buying, 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 buying. That's why we're having this push. So if we can get going above here, that high is going to get taken out. Is that the all-time high? No. There's a lot more left on this. So this is the major battleground here. There's algos here, and there's an algo here. And how I can tell is if I take the short. Let's take the short from the high to the low. So there's an algo that's trading the 786 as a pivot. So there's two battles there. So once we start breaking out on each side, that's where we're going to really know. Yep. So let's look at the requests you guys have. Disney and Fubo are trades that I'm going to take in my private room. So I'm not going to talk too much about those. But literally, guys, you guys know, like I'm an inside bar hunter combined with my fibs, and I play those setups. So Disney and Fubo are on my radar. I'm really, really looking at that. Yeah, so silver, I just talked about it. Amazon, CMG, and Google. So Amazon. So Amazon is still doing its trapping. A lot of people are getting hurt in Amazon because it pretends like it's going to break out and then it sells off. And it keeps pretending to break out and then it keeps pulling back in. So eventually something has to give on Amazon. But what we're seeing is a pattern of just tightening, right? We're just tightening like this. We're getting tight and tighter and tighter and tighter. And the more tighter we get, eventually we're going to explode. So this is currently what the flag looks like on Amazon. So just be aware of this, that when Amazon goes, it's going to go hard because there's so many trapped bulls and bears. So I'm actually, it wouldn't be a bad idea to try Amazon now because there are a lot of trap traders long above here, short below here, and just trying to take this flag breakout, whichever direction it goes. If the market starts selling, I see so many people doing like wave analysis, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, P, all of that. But here's the thing. If the market starts selling off next week, Amazon will sell off too. Very simple. Okay? So just play the odds. If we start breaking down through this pattern, through this flag, then we can pull back. We can start pulling back. And if the market is tanking for whatever reason, it could be news, it could be COVID, it could be Fed, it could be Robinhood, whatever. That could be a possibility. So just make sure you're ready for that. Don't get married to any particular thing. Just trade the setups and have good risk to reward. CMG and Chipotle in Florida doesn't taste that good, man. I'm disappointed. I really used to love Chipotle, and in Florida, for some reason, it just doesn't taste good. So, anyways, look at this beautiful double inside bar on Chipotle. This was back on the 23rd of November. I wish I saw that. But this is the type of things that I look for. This coiling pattern here, this double inside bar, boom, 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 entry above the high, bam. So right now, there's really nothing to do. We're at the top of the range. There's no inside bar. So for me, there's no technical reason to trade it. So I wouldn't be trading, right? Where would we start, guys? Google, I have in my private room. We're doing a few trades on that. So I'm not going to talk too much about it, but I'll just let you guys know that I am doing a mixture of long and short next week, a lot more shorts than I normally do, just to be safe, because I'm seeing a lot of patterns to the bearish side, and I'm going to be ready. If the market goes bearish, then I'm going to be ready. If the market goes bullish, I'm going to be ready. So let's give you guys. Let me give you guys an example. So next week in the room, I think I have like 12 trades set up. I don't know the exact number, but if 6 out of those 12 win, or even if 5 win, we're going to make money because the winners are going to be more than the losers. Very simple, right? So, you know, sometimes on some of these plays, like let's look at a recent big winner, Johnson and Johnson was a one, and I gave you guys this one in the private room too. I gave you guys this one on Sunday Stock Talk, right? A while ago. So Johnson and Johnson, here was the inside bar signal right there. So literally just going long right there, boom, hit like at the very high, it was 9 times my money. Okay. If I get Johnson and Johnson for 9 times my money, I can lose another 9 trades and still be break even. So that's the whole concept. Just try to let your winners make you make more than your losers twice, 3 times, 4 times, leave a little bit of runners on and let it go. See what you can get. That's how you trade like a professional because you don't know when you're going to be right or wrong. But if your average winner is larger than your loser, you're going to make money. Very simple. What traders struggle with, I've been, guys, like how many people? I talked to probably 6 different traders today in my boot camp, one-on-one. And here's the biggest issue with traders. One, they cut their winners quickly because of they have this feeling of like, oh, I'm up profit. I need to lock in and secure. But if you do that, you're shooting yourself in the foot because your winners are going to be equal to your losers or maybe even less. And if that's the case, you actually have to win a lot more frequently. And it's hard to win frequently in the stock market. It's very hard. My win rates go from 45 to 60%. And that's all I need to make good money, right? Anyone that's trying to get 70 or 80%, it's very hard to do that. No one can do that consecutively. Like I was able to do it on my swings in January, but that's not going to last. So the main principles that need to last is the risk to reward. So make sure you focus on that as best as you can. What's up, Daniel? What are we talking about? Netflix. I feel like Netflix isn't very. Yeah, so okay, Netflix is a swing trade that's in the private room. I'm gonna give it to you guys here for free because I appreciate you guys joining me. So I'm gonna give it to you guys. So what I'm looking at for Netflix here, Netflix is actually one of my longs that I'm gonna do next week. I have a lot of, I have probably equal amount of shorts to long, which is really different for me because I normally have 80% long, 20% short. But I'm just gonna be prepared for anything that's gonna happen. So what I'm seeing here on Netflix is that we've been trading in this box, right? So here's a box, and we retested previous highs, and we've been setting up. And if the market gets going and Netflix gets going, we're easily going to break through these levels here, and we're going to continue to squeeze. So this is my setup here for Netflix. Entry is 568.77, stop loss 533.05, and profit. The first take profit is 604.39. So that's the first level where I'll either scale out, move my stop loss, or do something like that, right? So when you get to one-to-one, you want to do something. You don't want it to just be a loser, right? So Netflix is one of my bullish ideas for next week. We had an inside bar close, and what I like is the previous week we had selling. So if we can get going and we can start coming back up here, this wick is in danger of being squeezed, and that's what we did with Fubo the other day, right? So let's look at Fubo. So what did we do on Fubo last week? You know, I showed you guys this. I showed you the exact call out, everything. So all the evidence is there. I'm not here to bullshit you guys. We had the inside bar close last week. All I did was I took the breakout to the upside because I was bullish on Fubo. So this was the exact play. Entry 37.68, stop 32.90. And my first target was back here at one-to-one. Okay. And then we were able to get all the way basically close to 4. So what I told people in the room, scale out something at 1, do whatever the hell you want after. Because if you're doing options, then you need to play it a little bit different than if you're doing stock, right? But generally, 1-to-1, you do something, 2-to-1, you do something, 3-to-1, you do something. You scale. Pay yourself. All right. So that's the lesson from today. Just pay yourself. All right. The last few things I want to talk about is the scanner, what we have, what's showing up on the scanner for tomorrow. So we have all these great stocks that are showing up for day trades: GME, Fubo, PLTR, SPCE, Snap, PG, Nike, ATVI, which is Activision Blizzard, right? So let's look at, let me just pick one example. So let's look at LTR, okay? A lot of you guys want to know what I do when I find these setups. So PLTR is a double inside bar pattern. So I'm going to go to the 5, right? So here's the range from the previous day. So guys, you know, I'm writing a guide on this, okay? So it's not done, and to be honest, it's been really hard for me because I've been dedicating a lot of time to my room and other projects, and it's been very, very hard for me to find time to write this. But let me talk to you about basically what I'm doing. So we have the range of the previous day. And what we're going to do here is we're going to look. So from this list, so here's the list: GME, Fubu, PLTR, etc. What we're going to do is we're going to look for which one is gapping tomorrow. Okay, which one is either gapping below the range or it's gapping significantly above the close. So whatever gaps is likely to have momentum. And then based on that, I'm going to be using my Fibonacci and my opening range breakout and my inside bars to take the place. Okay, so where can you learn more about that? All you have to do, look at my pinned tweet. All of these setups are here for free. So just go watch these videos, watch the playlist that I do on YouTube, subscribe and leave me a like, comment, please. And it's all there for free, okay? There's a particular few things that I like to do, but I'm still testing it and I'm still writing it down. So I'm not gonna talk about that until I finalize that. But here is what you can do. So from the list, figure out, okay, which one's gapping, which one has good momentum, throw an orb on it. Throw an orb on it, you know? So I'm gonna take the damn orb. What do I have from last week that I can show you guys an example? Let's look at GameStop actually, since everybody's on this thing. So you guys know the first time I called out GameStop was when it was $19, right? So let me go back to that day. Hit the replay button, go here. Now, wait, is that right? I don't think that's right. So sorry, it's all the way here. So hit the replay button and we're gonna go here, okay? Now let's go to the 5-minute chart, okay? So this is how GameStop looked to me that day before it made this big run. It was like this. And you see, I still have the previous day's low and high drawn. So let the first 5-minute bar play, boom, okay? So that's GameStop first 5-minute bar, breaking through the inside day range with authority. So all you have to do here is take the opening range breakout. Just go long above the high, stop below the low. And that's it. It's gone and it ain't ever coming back. All right. What is it? You could have gotten about 21, and we all know where it is now. What's the exact price right now? Go to the daily. 325. Okay. So you took it from 21 to $325. Congratulations. So that's all you got to do. So you find the ones from the list that you like, that have momentum, and you pick one of these that you want to use. And just be consistent with what you do. All right? Be consistent with what you do. If you want to do orb, then don't do orb one day and start crying when it doesn't work. Because nothing works all the time in the stock market. If something worked all the time, there wouldn't be a market. So be consistent with what you do. Okay? And then I also have the swing. I also have some stuff on the swing. So, you know, here is the really last thing I want to talk about. These are all the trades I'm taking in the room next week. Entry, stop, and targets are in the room, and everybody knows what they got to do. And here you see like how I have a mixture of long and shorts. If you guys want to be a part of that, it's 50 bucks. Okay. I had a guy that took the drafting play last week and made $5,000. So I don't think it's unfair. All right. And it put a lot of goddamn time into this. So I hope you guys understand. All right. I try to give a lot for free, but I think since so much time is going into it, I want to actually make it a legitimate business. So, you know, I can justify putting in so much time to something. All right. And then what's the last thing that I want to say? PRT, the GME play was dirty, man. That was dirty. Yeah, that was not. I think they should put me in the Hall of Fame for that one. I really think so. you'll hear everybody else on Twitter talking about GME when it was already like $200. I called it when it was $19, but my channel doesn't get that type of credit. You know, it doesn't. Thank you, William. Appreciate that. Ricardo made my first $50 in the first play. Guys, I'm not here. I'm a CPA, guys. I'm not here to bullshit you guys. It's all a numbers game at the end of the day. PRTS sounds familiar. I don't know why. Oh, I called this out as a day trade a long time ago. Yep. See how it showed up on the scanner? It was an inside bar. So let's look at this one when it was on the scanner. Let's see what happened here. So let me just put this horizontal line at the low and let's see what happened here. Right. So okay. So this is the day that it showed up as an inside bar, which is here. The first 5-minute candle was a big bear bar, and then we had an inside bar. So you had, you could have just taken the inside bar short when we break down somewhere here, put your stop here, you could have made a few bucks. But basically here, I'm not really, I see that there was an attempt to be a huge squeeze, but it obviously flipped. So now what we want to see is if we can build a base like this. If we build a base, then this wick will be in trouble. And if we build a base, we can squeeze this straight to the top. But if we start coming back down here, then we have to be worried about taking out this support and actually coming back down into this area. And what we can do as well is now we can draw a fib from this low to this high. And we can really zone in on this 50% level and this 618 to see what's going to happen if we come back here. Thank you, William. FFL updates, will get credit with time. I watch a lot of people and your knowledge only at 1K subs, you'll grow. Trust me, brother. Trust me, man. I feel like that, guys. I'm just going to be honest with you guys. Sometimes I'm just so disappointed with where I'm at with my channel. It makes me really sad because I put so much time and what I'm giving you is taking me over 5 years to learn. And when I look at other channels, it makes me sick because I see that they're leading you the wrong way. They're telling you to buy breakouts. They're not teaching you risk management. They're not teaching you anything. They're just pumping things. It's like so toxic. Or they post pictures of cars and naked women, and then people go crazy. Like, how is that going to help your life? Right? But at the same time, I'm also very grateful because at least I have 1,000 subscribers. I have almost 4,000 followers on Twitter. So I'm also very thankful because it could be a lot worse. And then the other thing is that I have 43 or 44 people in the private room. So I'm very thankful for that too. So, it's not, sometimes you get discouraged, but you got to keep pushing. Like what Daniel said, Rome was not built in one day. So trust me, guys, when you want to go chase your dreams, you have to put it all in because when I was a flower delivery boy, when I was 16, 17 years old, and people told me that I couldn't become a CPA. Let me tell you a story, actually, since we have time. So for those who don't give a shit, you guys can leave. But basically, I wanted to become a CPA, so I had to join Big Four, right? So Big Four accounting, there's Ernst & Young, there's Deloitte, there's KPMG, and there is PwC. Did I say that? I think I said that. PwC, Ernst & Young, KPMG, and Deloitte. Those are big four accounting firms, right? So I went to get my resume edited so that I could apply, right? And the person took my resume and they had a red pen and they took that red pen and they scratched over my whole resume like it was a piece of shit. And they're like, where are you trying to apply? So I want to go to Big Four accounting. I want to be a CPA. It's like you're not going to get that. You need to reevaluate your where you want to go because you're not going to get that. And that was that fire that lit under my ass. And within that year, I actually had interviews for 3 of them. And when I got the job at Ernst & Young, the partner called me on the phone and said, "You are number 1 candidate." All right? So don't don't ever let people tell you you can't do X, Y, and Z. You know, just keep putting the effort in and work your ass off. I worked my ass off that year because that year my GPA was 3.8 out of 4. Like that was at that time that was like crazy. I was getting like 90s in everything I did because I just worked my ass off. And that's the same thing that I'm gonna do here in trading. I don't know if I'm gonna be right. You know, I'm not always right, but I'm gonna make sure that when I'm right, I'm gonna make good money. And when I'm wrong, the losers are gonna be small. All right. So that's it. That's the lesson for today. Thank you very much for joining me. I think I covered everything. And I appreciate all of you guys. And let's make some money next week. On Friday, last week, I said, let's make some money. And we took that opening range breakdown and we just killed it. All right. So let's make some money next week. All right. Appreciate you guys.